webinar series being organized by Center for Knowledge Sovereignty.
CKS is a decade-old independent think tank. We all came together, basically.
Eminent scholar, soldier, master military strategist, Lieutenant General Dr. D. Shekatkar.
कि तुमने मेरी तस्वीर में इतने रंग भर दिए, तुमने मेरी तस्वीर में इतने रंग भर दिए, अब उसी तस्वीर में खुद को ढूंढता हूं मैं.
Webinar series being organized by Center for Knowledge Sovereignty, and we have a panel of eminent speakers that will be spread over 3 days, and today, tomorrow and day after. And today's speaker is a very eminent military strategist and a veteran, Lieutenant General Dr. D. Shekatkar. He has previously served in the Indian Army for over 40 years and done both command and staff postings all over the country, and particularly tackling China in Arunachal Pradesh and also insurgency in Jammu Kashmir and Northeast. He's a veteran of 1965 and 1971 and 1999 Kargil War. It is my proud privilege to be welcoming him today and welcoming all of you to this webinar. Those who are joining today, we would also like to let you know that we are going live on Facebook on the Center for Knowledge Sovereignties. People who are not able to join here can obviously go there and take a look at what General Shekatkar has to tell us about the topic information warfare in the age of digital network. This is a very interesting topic for the simple reason that today the world is besieged by the social media, and the social media is both a double-edged sword. It can also be used for putting out your message, your good messages, and it can also be misused by people who are inimical to India and Indian interests. So to speak on this topic, we have Lieutenant Shekatkar here today. He has joined us, and to introduce him, I will invite Air Vice Marshal Sinha. But before that, let me have the proud privilege of inviting Center for Knowledge Studies is Vinod Goenka to introduce the center and also about the series, the 3-day series that we are hosting. Over to you, Vinod ji.
Good evening, everybody. It's my privilege to speak in front of this august gathering right now. What you're seeing today is a culmination of various thought processes which has come together. And I'm now going to speak about what is CKS. CKS is a decade-old independent think tank. We all came together basically a decade ago to talk about the fourth industrial revolution, the fifth generation technologies, be it cybersecurity, be it artificial intelligence, geospatial technology, or sensors. Till those days, those things were used only in either strategic places or industry. But what you saw from 2005 onwards is use of technology in common man's life, be it public places, private places, and impact of that. And I'm proud that CKS could emphasize that long back, a decade back, under the leadership of Lieutenant General Shekatkar as a chairman, that things will change. And with the change of technology and technology cannibalizing the earlier technology, there will be a requirement of talking about policies and strategies. Till date, lawmaking or policy making was seen as to be the job of government. CKS feels that it is not only the job of government, not only the work of industry, but also academicians and also society at a large. And we contribute as a society as a large. It's a non-profit making, non-governmental organization led by General Shekatkar. We talk about policy strategies. We are known to focus only in the fifth generation technologies, fourth industrial revolution. Recommendations have been highly appreciated, and you will be proud to know that we have come out with book on data sovereignty, which has been discussed largely in the House, in the Parliament, outside the Parliament, by the Intelligentsia data sovereignty book, which has been written by 4 journals, 1 senior raw officer and 2 civilians, including General Shekatkar. General Patil is a co-author there, who is also a part of today's webinar. Sometime maybe probably the admin may show him also on the screen. General Vinod Bhatia and General Khandare has been co-authoring that. From an officer of a raw, Ranadeji has written this book along with other authors. What we have done in CKS is to conduct roundtables, webinars of select few people. And when I say select few people, these are the people who are apex of their industry, their organization, or the technology, who have come together. They put in thoughts, they put in brain, what will happen tomorrow. When I mean by tomorrow, it's a long-term perspective, maybe a decade on. Like for example, in 2017, there was a team of people who came together, discussed Citizens 2030 in respect to cybersecurity, where specific attention was given to students. And you see this come 2020, that thoughts which were discussed in CKS roundtable are coming true. The recommendations are passed on to the government and both to the bureaucracy. And I'm happy to know that General Shekatkar also leads the Shekatkar committee, which gave recommendations to government, and it has been accepted widely in the defense. I'm also proud to let you know this, the need of this 3-day seminar was felt due to the geopolitics which is going on, the technological change which is going on, and the post-COVID, the changes which will happen because of technology. The world at large from February 2020 today have changed. The usage of technology during 2020 and now has a vast difference. Those who were reluctant to use technology were forced to migrate on technology due to COVID lockdowns. Those who were good on technology have utilized and harnessed technology more. With the use of technology, there are other things which come along with that. And also we have seen lately the use of data to colonize minds, to colonize economies, either through military operations or through economical operations, strategic, non-strategic, kinetic, non-kinetic. And we thought that it will be appropriate to discuss this at large under the name of information warfare in the age of digital network. And who better than these three journals to talk about this? The inaugural session, which is today, will be talked by Lieutenant General DB Shekatkar, PVSM, AVSM, VSM, followed by tomorrow a talk by Lieutenant General Gen Ata Hasnain, who need not be introduced today, as he will be introduced tomorrow. And then the last session, which is day after tomorrow, on 12th of September, which will be by Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni. Each day, we will be having one journal who will speak about this. I thank you all for joining this. I request Bipinji to take it over from here.
Thank you, Viniji. Thank you for that succinct introduction of Center for Knowledge Sovereignty and also about the theme of this webinar today. Thank you very much for that. May I now request Air Vice Marshal Sinha to introduce the speaker of the day, please.
Thanks, Vipinji, and good evening, viewers. It's really my proud privilege to be on this prestigious platform, rather portal of Center of Knowledge Sovereignty, and a great honor to introduce eminent scholar, soldier, master military strategist, Lieutenant General Dr. D.B. Sekatkar, Param Visis Seva Medal, Ati Visis Seva Medal, and Visis Seva Medal. Sir, we salute you, sir. And he is the chairman of Center of Knowledge Sovereignty, fountainhead rather. And you all will agree when I read his academic qualification. He is pursuing his third PhD in psychological warfare. He has already done 2 PhDs, already awarded. One in management science and one in defense strategics. Ladies and gentlemen, he has done lot of studies, postgraduate diploma in ecology and environment, postgraduate diploma in weapons and equipment management, awarded prestigious Paul Harris Fellowship by Rotary International. In fact, as Viniji mentioned, he is known in the civil world and in fact in the military world as a person, as a chairman who led the famous Shekatkar Committee or Government of India to reorient India's defense mechanism and rebalancing of defense budget. And still the government is following on recommendations. After retirement, he served as a chair professor in Department of Defense Strategic Studies, University of Pune, advisor Symbiosis University. He is a president, national president of Forum for Integrated Security of India. He is a distinguished fellow at Center for Joint Warfare, that is CENJOS, and he is associated with a large number of academic institutions and advisory council, governing councils. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now tell a word about the military strategist. He served 4 decades in the Indian Army. All staff and important command duties he has done. He participated, as Vipinji mentioned, all the wars after 65, 1965, 1971 Western Sector. He was in charge of entire CNI front in Arunachal Pradesh in 1999, Kargil. He was in charge of border management with China in Arunachal Pradesh, Myanmar, Bhutan, and part of border with Bangladesh. He served extensively in Northeast, combating insurgency in Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, and you name all the eastern states. He served in Blue Star operation in Punjab and later combated terrorism as brigadier in Punjab, as Major General Kashmir, and as Lieutenant General Assam and other parts of Northeast. He served as a member of Joint Working Group dealing with India-China boundary and other disputes. He also served as member of expert group dealing with boundary disputes and member of drafting team of peace and tranquility agreement signed during the Prime Minister Sri Narasimha Rao. He has participated in negotiation with China on boundary issues, also with Pakistan on Siachen glacier issues. He was member of India-US Defense Cooperation and Strategic Partnership Initiative. Sir, I can go on and go on. That will cut the time of the today's topic. So ladies and gentlemen, please get set ready to hear General Dr. D.B. Shekatkar on information warfare. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm obliged and grateful to you for the very generous introduction about me. I don't know how I did it, but in the armed forces, we are told to do and we do it. So it is that order which has been given to us makes us do what we did. We have a wonderful audience today, a galaxy of people who will be participating in this webinar. This is a topic which is close to our heart, but the way you have described me and given information about me, I am reminded, I can call it share, whatever it is, because I have been studying Quran for the last 30 years. 30 years I am studying Quran just to find out what is the meaning of jihad. I have not found one. But today, the jihad has almost endangered the entire world. Jihad are different type, and we'll be discussing today one of the jihad where you capture the mentality, you influence the minds of the people, not by throwing a bomb, but throwing a different type of information on the people of others. So there is a saying कि तुमने मेरी तस्वीर में इतने रंग भर दिए, तुमने मेरी तस्वीर में इतने रंग भर दिए, अब उसी तस्वीर में खुद को ढूंढता हूं मैं. Am I the same person or there was somebody else? The topic today, I must compliment the Knowledge Center, Information Center, Knowledge Sovereignty. Knowledge is the power. In 19th century, it was the muscle power which gave the leverage to the people who had the muscle power to rule somebody else, to suck somebody else's blood, make themselves comfortable, enjoy the things, and then destroy whatever you capture. Britishers came to India during that time. 20th century, where we all have been born, we have grown up, we have reached wherever we wanted to or up to which place, is a century of money power. You could buy everything, anything, persons, personalities, nations, national leadership, you name and you could buy with money. There was just no problem. Corporate world knows it better. Word, coin, corporate insurgency. Corporate insurgency. It was all based on money power. 21st century, where we are dealing today, we have spent 2 decades, is the century of knowledge power. The more knowledgeable you are, the more powerful you will be. That is the basic principle. And therefore, knowledge is power. Knowledge does not come merely by doing PhD or masters of philosophy. No, knowledge is of different type. You acquire the information of your friends, your adversaries, your corporate competitors, the nations, and the personalities who are ruling the nations, and the personalities which are likely to emerge and rule those nations and create problem for us. Somehow or other, in India, we have been failing to do it. I don't belong to any party. I don't advocate for any party. But as a student of military science, a student of psychological warfare, information warfare, right from the time when the 62 war started, even before that, we all have been made to believe China is a big power. China is a big nation. Of course, it's a big nation. There is no doubt about it. Large population, there is no doubt about it. But from where it became big power, China has a large economy, large industry, large armed forces, number of weapons, nuclear weapons, and so on. So by ruling party, whichever rule India for last 5 decades or a little more, a mindset has been created in India that be afraid of China, be scared of China. And we tend to believe it. And we tend to believe it. Our young generation tend to believe it. The people in the villages are tend to believe it. You ask any vegetable shop owner, auto rickshaw driver, he will say, China ke samne mat jana. It is his perception. And this was supported by the Communist Party of India, which is being paid. They were paid by them, even continue to be paid today by the Chinese people and the Chinese government to maintain that Bhashmasur Vritti or Mahishasur-like image of China, part of perception management, part of information warfare, part of psychological warfare. That's the fact of life. Why people do it? Because gone those days when you could just go and capture the territory and you thought you'll be able to control it today. In 21st century, where we are dealing, our young generation will be dealing, our children, our grandchildren. If you capture the minds of the people, the imagination of people, influence the minds of the people, you have won the battle. You have won the battle. Americans came to Afghanistan. They claim they have captured Afghanistan. But till today, they have not been able to capture the minds of the people. And therefore, they don't even know how to get out of Afghanistan. They went to Vietnam. 10 years, they fought. They might have destroyed Viet Cong, but they could not destroy the philosophy of Viet Cong. They suffered the defeat in that part. Look at Russians, they suffered the defeat in Afghanistan. Look at the Americans, again, they made the same mistake, absolute same mistake, copy mistake in Iraq. Within a period of 17 days, they claimed, 15 days, they claimed they have captured Iran by showing the fall of the statue of Saddam Hussein. But they forgot one basic cardinal principle of the modern day warfare. Have you been able to capture the minds of the people? When you say capture, means you can't keep them in captivity, but they must start supporting you. They failed in that. And they have created new enemy. The IS, the largest terrorist organization, who was controlling larger territory than that of Great Britain or Britain of today. From where did they emerge? Where did they come from? They used the information warfare, they used the psychological warfare, and they created a mindset in the world that don't ever cross the line with ISIS. That is the fear they created. So I've studied these people, their leadership, what creates a terrorist. It's all parts of perception management. And therefore, this topic is of great importance to us today. Our Prime Minister, last year when I was speaking in United Nations, he said, it's on record, data is a gold, data is oil. The more purity you have in data, you are better off. The refined oil, purified oil, it can be lubricant, it can be aviation fuel, it can be anything, becomes more valuable. And what Viniji mentioned today, we are focusing on data. I will not go into details of data, but data is power today. In the report which has been mentioned by General Sinha and Correction Air Marshal and other people, the so-called Shekatkar committee, on this Wuhan virus, China virus, we have mentioned very clearly. We did not name the country because we knew if we name the country from where the attack is going to come, report will become top secret and it will be kept in some almirah, not to be located at all. So we deliberately kept it ambiguous. We have said there, it is not the use of the weapons of mass destruction, that is the nuclear bomb, but it is the method and mechanism of disruption of masses, destruction of masses, which will be more dangerous. And then we have mentioned a biological warfare. What the world is facing today is biological warfare. The experiment has misfired. It is the accidental leak, incidental leak, or experimental leak of the virus, which has created the problem in the world. Lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of people have died, and they will continue to die for at least next 1.5 years. I am not a pessimistic, पर आशावाद और निराशावाद के बीच में एक और वाद होता है, उसको हम बोलते हैं यथार्थवाद. The reality on ground, it says we'll continue to suffer. Not one bullet has been fired, not one missile has been fired, not one bomb has been fired, but it destroyed the entire economy of the world, the philosophy of the world. The education system is gone. The aviation system is gone. The running of trains is gone. Now we are trying to revive. You can't even go to a bar. You can't even go to the hotel. They all are being closed. And that is the impact of perception management and the warfare because of the information warfare. This was being planned for almost last 2 years by the country who is well known today in the world. I dealt with this subject as the Additional Director General of Perspective Planning in the Armed Forces Headquarters. We know what it is. Relating to this, when we talk of information warfare, it will include electronic warfare, the information technology, psychological operations, cyber warfare, you can say the military activities, and the operational philosophy of any nation. It will all include in the information warfare, the perception management. The 2 leading nations in the world, one spends $5 billion per year in perception management, in information warfare. And another nation which is supposed to be more powerful nation, they are spending almost to the tune of $8 billion per year to create that image, to maintain that image of a superpower. That is the sort of money being invested just to make people believe. So it is not that how powerful you are, but it is the belief of the people who think, who appreciate, and who are scared by the fact, by how powerful you are. And the more powerful you are, people will start respecting you. A simple philosophy. In Ramayana it is said, Bhaya bina hot na preet. It is all people who respect you, who come to you is because of fear. The second thing, when we talk of importance of data security and the perception management, information warfare, psychological warfare, it said, समर्थ को नहीं दोष गुसाई. गुसाई तुलसीदास जी ने लिखा हुआ है रामायण में. जो सामर्थ्यवान व्यक्ति होता है, जो सामर्थ्यवान शासन होता है, जो सामर्थ्यवान राष्ट्र होता है, सामर्थ्यवान सोसाइटी होती है, उसका कोई दोष नहीं होता है. Can anybody blame China officially today what they have done to the whole world? You can keep discussing, but nothing is going to come out. That is the importance of power. And therefore, management of communication technology is very important when we talk, when we discuss a perception management, information warfare. What sort of information you require? First and foremost, we have to find out the information about the vulnerability of our adversary. It can be vulnerability of the corporate world, your competitive mechanism. Assuming you are in information technology, then which are the companies who are in the field? If you are in data management, then who are your corporate competitors? If you are in technology of different nature, then who are your competitors? If you are producing aircraft, then who are your competitors? If you are producing and supplying and exporting the naval mechanism system, then who are the competitors? So you have to get to know the details about those people, their strong points, and more important than strong points, the weaknesses, the fault line. We have to understand that. Unless we don't understand this, we cannot make a headway. Look at this thing. Pardon my giving you this example. When the Americans landed in Afghanistan to take a revenge of 9/11, we had cautioned them. I'm mentioning to you, we had cautioned them. General Patil will probably bear me out. On 24th of September 1997, in the conference room of Ministry of Defense in South Block, in one of the interaction, I had cautioned them that you are likely to be subjected to an attack by commercial airliner. And they laughed at me. He said, no, you don't know what you are talking about. I said, good luck to you. But more than that, my own people, my defense secretary, the foreign people who were sitting there, the diplomats, they laughed at me and they asked me, आपको ये क्या पता हो? क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? बाद में बोला मेरे को. ऐसे मैं बेवकूफ हूँ. जिस दिन ये सत्य हो जाएगा, तब आप मुझे याद करना. And when 9/11 took place, they tried to locate me. Where the hell this person is? I was still in service. So I said, I can't speak to you. You have to approach the government of India, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They will request the Ministry of Defense. Ministry of Defense tell my chief, and my chief will give me the orders or clearance to speak to you. But I said, by the way, why are you interested? How did you locate me? He said, no, you had mentioned sometime in the Ministry of Defense of India that we are likely to be subjected. They had that information in their place. That is the power of information. How did we come to know? We did not dream, but we are collecting the signals. When I was in Kashmir fighting terrorism, there were signals originating from Afghanistan and Pakistan and within Kashmir for the use of commercial airliner as a bomb. And that took place on 9/11. That is the importance of data, information, and data is gold, data is bomb, data is oil, data is everything. And that is why we are concentrating on that. But immediately after that, the President of the United States drew a new geometrical line, axis of evil, again connected with perception management and information warfare and psychological warfare. He drew a new axis of evil, started from Libya, is crossed over to Egypt, then Iraq, then Iran, and landed up in North Korea. For some reason, they conveniently forgotten the axis of evil, Pakistan as a part of that, because it didn't suit them. So they glossed over that. When you create an axis of evil, there is bound to be some evil which will originate from that evil. And the two originated evils are Pakistan and North Korea. Both are adequately supported by China, sustained, supported, financed, directed by China. It is part of perception management. It is part of information warfare. It is part of psychological warfare. Nobody dares to take liberty with them. It's a fact of life. It's a fact of life. So these are the issues. I will request your consideration. I can request your consideration on that. Collection of information of data. The more information you have, you will be able to then segregate the information, classify the information in different categories, convert that information into knowledge, and use that knowledge to hit upon your adversary, your competitor, or your adversary, or your enemy. So conversion of data into knowledge and the conversion of knowledge into actionable plan is all connected with these. It can be opening of a new mobile set, a new mobile communication system. It can be anybody. It can be amalgamation of the technology, information technology. Look at the way we are discussing today, sitting at all over the places in India. We are communicating with each other. But I'm 200% sure, whatever is being discussed among ourselves, it is being heard and maybe recorded and will be saved by those people who are interested in that. How they use it, it's entirely up to them. So therefore, collection of information, spread of propaganda. What is the information of warfare? It is through the means of information, you influence the mindset of your adversary. Make him believe that what you are saying is right. That is the basic essence of information warfare. Spread false information, false data. That is the essence of information warfare. And what is psychological warfare? You make your opponent, you make your adversary, you make your competitor, you make your enemy to do what you want him to do. So though there is a correlation between the information warfare and psychological warfare, they are not separable. They are connected to each other. But psychological warfare is winning the minds and the hearts of the people. You make them do what you want them to do. Whereas information, you make them believe what you want them to believe and then act accordingly. So there's a correlation between these two. It will continue to be there. And therefore my request is to Vinit ji and his team, his colleagues, Sumitra ji, Vipin ji is there. Please follow this subject in future also. And the audience which are listening to us, my request is please inform your children not to get influenced by false propaganda, by wrong information. What your children eat at home is not decided by mother. It is decided on television set, which noodle, which Maggi, which soup. They say so-and-so can produce a soup 3:30 at night. It is coming on TV every day as if it never taken soup. But this is the way you influence the mind and you make them do what you want them to do and make money at their cost. It can be noodle. Today you see how the information warfare, the psychological warfare, look good. Everybody wants to look handsome, smart, apply the cream, and within no time, within a fraction of second, you become fair and lovely from absolutely black. People are made to believe. Look at the largest number of beauty parlors in Kerala. My God, mind-boggling. Even in the villages you will find. Why? And they're very knowledgeable people, highly intelligent, hardworking. They serve the society, but everybody wants to look good. When you go and open your TV set today, you will find 73% of advertisement will be on look good, what you should wear, what cream you should use, what lipstick you should use, how to blacken your color. Even if you don't have hair, you borrow from somebody. Why? They want to make money at your cost. Correlate this to a nation, what the nation wants somebody else to do for you and at their cost. That is the correlation between this. You can take the things on February 2019, we had Balakot. Before that, we had Pulwama attack. Before that, we had Orissa. But the misinformation originated from Pakistan. There was a question mark, Indian Air Force really bombed Balakot. There was a question mark raised and the world started believing it. And most unfortunate part is, in India itself, people started doubting the government and the Air Force. What a shame. What a shame. Then there's a TV channel, Al Jazeera. Somebody was interviewed and they started doubting Indian version. So much so that one of the political party in India, which has been ruling this country for a long time, they said, why did you not take the photographs? At night when you go quietly across the border, you want to take photographs at night and ask the terrorist, आपका नाम क्या है, पिताजी का नाम क्या है, बाप का नाम क्या है, कौन सा वतन है, क्या है? What rubbish talking about? But on the TV channel, when you hear, it sounds convincing. In India itself, there are almost about 78 channels which are anti-India. It includes English channel also. You will never hear one good word about the government of India. Never. You can try for next 7 days and go on the channel. And it's a very popular channel in Pakistan. It's a very popular channel in Europe. But the moment you start speaking good about India government and India is good, let's say this channel has been bought by the government. So to speak the truth is a problematic today. But when you tell lies, you are respected all over the places. And that is again part of information warfare, how you convince the people. There was the information given about the capture of pilot in Pakistan, that they captured 2 Indian pilots, they killed 1, they destroyed aircraft. Nothing happened like that sort. But people are believing. In India itself, people are believing it. Has it really happened or not? And then Wing Commander Parivartan, who came back, they say, where is the second pilot? Because people are influenced on their mind. That is the power. Take the question of fake news. I will not name, there are far too many people in India who claim to be social activists, reformists, environmentalists. You look for one, you will find 25 of them, all being funded by the powers which are outside India, to malign India, to defame the system of India. I don't want to name. I feel insulted even to use their name. I have the whole list of these people who are anti-Indians. Look at the Global Times of China. It's a spokes newspaper of China. And they are telling all lies. Everything lies they are telling. They are the mouthpiece of the government of China. And we tend to believe. Our newspapers are quoting from Global Times. As per Global Times. Our TV channels are quoting as per Global Times. You know that is false. Why are you injecting this poison into the minds of unsuspecting people? What is the problem? So management of electronic media is also very important on that. Corporate world, I mentioned to you about the corporate insurgency. You can buy a person for half an hour. If I am working with you and I am on way to submit a tender for our company, which has been employed, or I am working for them, I am employed by them, I can open that packet. I can read what is the lowest quote, convey this information to somebody else who is willing to pay the money and go and deposit, and he will quote 200 rupees less and he'll win the contract. That is corporate insurgency. You are buying people from that insurgency. You are buying information. When you bribe the person, what do you want to know? You want to know the trade secret of the company, the trade secret of corporate world. Today the share market is being influenced by people. There are companies, there are channels, they are expert on these so-called economic shares. They'll say there's going to be a problem of climatic change. The rice will come down. The production of rice will come down. The prices will go up. Every year you see there's a problem on onion prices. Every year it is happening. There's a lobby working in India. लोग बोलते हैं प्याज खाने से आंसू आते हैं, हमको तो प्याज का नाम लेने से ही आंसू आ जाते हैं. It's a fact of life. So these lobbies are working. Unfortunately, why I am laboring on this, there's a need for the government. And I request those people who are in Delhi, Sir is sitting here, Marshal is there, Vinit ji is there, everybody is here, Sinha ji is there. Kindly tell the government and the government machinery, please wake up. The parliamentary session is going to start on 13th of this month. My God, the way they will tear off the government, even Chinese will feel ashamed कि हमने कभी ये सोचा ही नहीं था. They will come and ask them कि आपको ये बुद्धिमत्ता आती कहाँ से है? Even the ISI of Pakistan will rig up somebody in Nizamuddin area कि यार इनसे पूछो ये information आती कहाँ से इनके पास में. It's a fact of life. So therefore, I think there is a need for us to educate our children, to guide our children, to guide our young generation. Don't believe in this fake news. Try to distinguish, understand the mechanism, understand the philosophy of adversary. Sometimes in our family it starts. If there is a young child from the class of 8th, he or she start understanding. And you tell that child, आपके जो काका हैं बहुत बदमाश आदमी है, वो चोर हैं, उसने पिताजी की संपत्ति हड़प ली है. The child start believing that uncle to be one of the worst person in the world. It can be chacha, it can be mama, it can be taya, it can be anybody else. And that philosophy mindset becomes, I operated with terrorists. Terrorists are not born in the world, never. No human being has ever born with a gun in the hand, AK-47 in the hand, a grenade in the hand. When it came out of the womb of his mother. Terrorists are made, and they are made from the age of 7, 8, 9 years young. I've handled them in Kashmir. I've seen the madrasas, the way they are operating. I've seen some of the other religious institutions they are operating. And how they create these human robots. You press the button and he will go and get killed himself. And to commit suicide in that religion is not allowed. आत्महत्या वर्जित है. जैसे शहादत या फतह बाहुक्म, ऐसा वो कलमा एक है उनका. If you can't be shaheed and if you can't be fatehgar, then you can go and destroy yourself. And that is what is jihad. And that jihadi philosophy is nothing else but the part of information warfare or psychological warfare. Human beings are converted into a human robots carrying a bomb. I wrote an article, it is published in Outlook magazine or Outlook network. Buy one, get two free, a briefcase size atomic bomb. Buy one, get two free, a briefcase size atomic bomb. It was addressed to us Americans. Nobody bothered in India. Naturally, they don't bother. ये हमारा काम नहीं है, ये गवर्नमेंट का काम है, ये आर्म फोर्सेस का काम है. हमारा काम क्या है? खाली बैठ के गालियां देना, टीका टिप्पणी करना. Americans took the note of that. They contacted me. They approached me. Where have you got this idea? I said, firstly, I don't make a bomb. I will not come to USA to put the bomb. But are you sure there is not a bomb inside your territory? See the way what happened in Lebanon, in Beirut, 7,520 tons of nitrate, ammonium nitrate, stocked for there. It has caused devastation more than what was caused by a nuclear bomb in Hiroshima. I went there, I've studied there. I went to Hiroshima, I went to Nagasaki, because nuclear philosophy was part of my job of duty. Why I'm laboring on these points, we try to understand, we must listen to the people, talk to the people, understand the philosophy of adversaries, and then only we can fight this menace in the form of psychological warfare and information warfare. We tell our soldier, we don't tell them, go and die for your country. My God, I have been in all the wars. But we tell them that in case, in performance of our duty, we have to sacrifice ourselves, we should not hesitate. If there is a child, young man goes into army, we don't say, tum marne ke liye aaya hai idhar. That is told by the Bihari ministers in Bihar and some member of parliament, unka to kaam hi marna hai, unko tankha hi marne ki milti hai, inka baap deta hai tankha, baith ke. Ashamed, these people should be ashamed. So that is the perception of these people. So we don't tell our children or the young boys when they join the armed forces, but we do tell them that our nation depends on us. We have to create that psychological impact on their mind. And in doing so, in defending our nation, if something happens to us, well, it's part of the game. But if I tell a young officer, a young captain, a young lieutenant, tu marne ke liye aaya hai idhar, tayar ho jao, maut karne ke liye. My God, who will come? All part of perception management. All part of perception management, information warfare, psychological warfare. I think I request your consideration. There will be eminent speaker, Gen Ata Hasnain. He has operated in Kashmir. He has operated in Ladakh. He has done a great job, and you will listen to him. Lieutenant General Kulkarni. He was the first person to go on Siachen Glacier as a young captain. First time, 1984. He went there, the first human being from India to reach there. And they stayed there, they occupied. He's a China expert. During Kargil war, he gave a tough time to Chinese in Arunachal Pradesh when I was the corps commander, lieutenant general, and he was a colonel. He let them have it in Sumdangchu area. He just let them have it. And thereafter, Chinese had never dared to come in that part. Never. There's a place known as Yangtze. They tried to create the same problem, what you are seeing in Ladakh. Finger 1, finger 2, finger 5, knuckle. What bloody fingers you are talking about? They came to Indian territory. You are calling it a finger? They tried these stunts in Ladakh, in Arunachal Pradesh, at a place known as Yangtze, and we hammered them. We hammered them. From that day till this morning, they never ventured there. So your enemy, your adversary will get the message, how you send them a message. We call them finger 4, point 14, point 16. That finger is part of the nation's hand. It is the fist, 5 fingers collected together make a fist, and that fist is part of your hand. And the direction to the hand are given from the mind, the information warfare. George Fernandez, I'm about to finish my talk. On the floor of parliament, he said, in years to come, China will be our biggest threat. He didn't mention enemy, but it was considered to be an enemy. The biggest challenge will come from China on the floor of parliament. And look at these politicians. They converted one of the finest person, a human being from India, graduated himself from the socialistic pattern of life, a coffin chore. They made him coffin chore. I asked him, I said, sir, he was traveling with me. I was driving him for 2 days in Arunachal Pradesh. He was Raksha Mantri. The weather was bad. He could not fly by helicopter. So I requested him. I said, sir, would you like to travel by road? He said, yeah, we'll go. And while driving for about 7-8 hours, naturally you discuss. So I asked him, I said, sir, who gave you this idea to call China is the enemy number 1? He said, you tell me that you are here. Is he your friend? I said, no, sir. Then what is he? I said, he's the enemy. Who is more dangerous to you, China or Pakistan? I said, China. He said, then am I telling the lies? And he said, India will remember what I said today after 25 years. It has happened on 15th of June, 2020, what he said then. He also used to say, and this is the concluding point of my request to you. उनका कहना था, आप देखिए आपको गूगल पर मिलेगा, सेनाएं हमारी मुट्ठी हैं, armed forces are our fist, जनता हमारी भुजा हैं, बाहु हैं. He was very popular saying all the time. I asked him, sir, where is the mind in this part? The mindset. भुजा को आदेश तो कौन देता है? Mind देता है ना. All your sense, they're all connected in the 11-inch diameter of the entire body. Everything comes from the mind. I said, if the mind is not there, who will order the bhuja And who will order the fist? It is the mindset of our parliamentarians, the mindset of our political class, the mindset of our decision makers, the mindset of the governing body, the mindset of the corporate world, the mindset of the economic world. If you subvert the mindset, you have won the war. And that is what is psychological warfare and information warfare. Thank you very much, sir. I'll be able to take on one or two questions if there are anything. This is where I finish. Grateful to you for giving this chance. Sumitra ma'am, sir, I have not crossed the time. I have still 3 minutes left before the time you gave me. So I don't want to violate the instruction given to me by Vinit ji. आपने भी मुझे बताया है, सुमित्रा जी ने बोला है, क्योंकि सुमित्रा को मालूम है बुढ़े ज्यादा याद करते हैं. Old people speak too much. All yours, sir. All yours, sir.
Sir, thank you very much for this wonderful exposition on information warfare and how psychological warfare is done by the enemy nations on India. I think you made very valid points there, but one particular point that you mentioned has kind of struck my attention, basically. This is regarding how the enemy nation, particularly China, plays on the mindset of the Indians. I mean, basically, I'm talking about the fifth columnists who are there within India, but who play the Chinese game in India against India. Basically, the Chinese have enlisted a whole lot of journalists who are basically influencers of opinion and some intellectual class, and maybe even some bureaucrats and diplomats who work closely with Chinese to kind of put out information that are most favorable to China, particularly in the context of the Ladakh conflict that is happening for the last 4 months now. They're kind of projecting this image that China is more powerful than India. The point that you actually mentioned in your talk, this 1962 mindset, that the ghost that is still, on the backs of all these people, trying to inject that fear psychosis. My question here is on two fronts. One is, was 1962 really a major defeat for India in that it has hit our psyche so much? And my second aspect of my question is that, what do you think would be the best means to tackle these fifth columnists who are in India, living off Indian resources, but working against India, trying to influence the mindset of the people by putting out wrong information or information that suits China mostly? That's my first question, which is a two-part question.
Excellent observation, sir, and the question. General Patil is here. He's listening to us. He was there. He was a captain in that war, 1962 war. He was a Bomdila, artillery officer directing the fire. We have been made to believe that we lost the war. Of course, physically the Chinese came and captured our territory. But nobody ever mentioned how much casualties the Chinese suffered, how much damage we did to China. Nobody thinks of that. We were made to believe. Of course, we lost, there is no doubt about it. Militarily, we lost. And we are made to believe, as a nation, we lost everything. So it may be a military debacle created by our own people. It is not Chinese. It is the Prime Minister of that time. It is the Defense Minister of that time. It is the Foreign Minister of that time who said we deal with China on negotiating table. Chinese will never attack India. Air Marshal is sitting here. He will know much better than me. We were made to believe. And suddenly, even Khrushchev, Mr. Khrushchev, he told Krishna Menon, if you read the book by John Dalby on page number 56 and 57, it is there. And he fought the war there. You will be subjected to a very heavy punishment by China. Don't trust them. He told Krishna Menon. So actually, it is the politicians who engineered the defeat for Indian Army. After all, it is the same Indian Army, same weapon system. Did we not win the war for Britishers in Second World War before independence? We fought all over the world, and wherever the Britishers won the war, including in Burma campaign, against the Japanese, the Indians were there. There was no technology then. It was the same technology. And we are using the same technology in 1962 also. With the same technology, similar technology, did we not defeat the Pakistan in 1965 within a period of 2.5 years? So it is the leadership which failed us, and not so much the armed forces. Armed forces were blamed because they wanted to palm off this blame to somebody else. How to hide the failure? The second thing, sir, you made about the fifth columnist think tanks. I know there are 17 so-called think tanks in Delhi, all paid by China, and they carry out a Chinese study. I know them very well. and they are run by some of these, our maybe bureaucrat, maybe diplomats. They're running it. I'm not blaming the diplomatic corps, but some of them are being paid, and they speak the language which appeals to Chinese. If you take out the Hindustan Times of last month, when the Raksha Mantri and the government of India said we had given the authority to the army and the armed forces to do what they feel right on the spot when they are there facing the Chinese. हमने उनको छूट दी है. It doesn't mean they authorize the army to use nuclear bomb. No, but they have told the armed forces or the army that you use your discretion. Don't wait for the orders. Second day, one of the top diplomat of our country who retired the foreign secretary, he claims himself to be hell of a Napoleon, worked for the ORF. It is a huge caption. Do not give too much of freedom to armed forces. This man is telling the government, he's questioning the authority of the government of the Raksha Mantri, who said, "Jo aapko theek dikhta hai, aap kijiye." If we had not done today, would we have been sitting at Zangla? Would we have sitting on North Bank? Would we have been there? If we listen to these bloody fools, the so-called the think tanks and their spokesperson, sorry for using this bloody fool, because every fool is a fool. I'm mean no derogatory remark for them. But what is the more respectable word for these people? They are the fifth columnists, and they are not only confined to English language, in vernacular language, they are there. They are creating a mindset. They speak the language of Chinese, they speak the language of Pakistanis. So your observation, sir, is absolutely correct, and we have to be careful of that. I will, if you want, I'll give the Vinit जी को मैं कल भेज दूंगा सवेरे उसका फोटोकॉपी हिंदुस्तान टाइम का और किसने ये स्टेटमेंट दिया है. The ex-Foreign Secretary of India, who claims to be the most knowledgeable person, he has said that. His article is there in Hindustan Times. Don't give too much of freedom to the armed forces, as if we'll take over the country. Look at these people. They are influencing the mindset of the common people. And no wonder, by listening to these people, these wise people, these so-called think tanks, or bureaucrats, start believing them naturally. They've been groomed by them, they've been trained by them. Thanks to the things, thank God, in last 3-4 years, there's a change in the mindset of diplomatic corps of India. There's a change in the mindset of our bureaucracy of India. It is not the bureaucrats, but it is the bureaucracy which is dangerous. We unnecessarily blame bureaucrats. Look at the type of perception warfare, the information warfare. Everybody calls all the IAS officers or bureaucrats as a babu. What rubbish we are talking about. उनको हमने बाबू बना दिया है. Babu is a derogatory word today to be used. And they are the people who are governing, part of the governing mechanism. They are doing a great job, but we call them babus. Babus being transported, babus being thrown out, babus being taught a lesson. What rubbish we are talking. And who gave them this idea? All the fifth columnists. They have degraded the governing mechanism of India. Then who is running this country? Parliament House they may be making the policy rules, but conversion of that policy into actionable plan is done by our bureaucrats, a knowledgeable person. And 98% of them, they don't go abroad after retirement. They stay here only. So why should they do anti-India feeling? My request for you, sir, is to consider, sorry, I've taken 2 minutes more to explain this, but this is also a mindset being created against the bureaucracy of India, against the diplomatic corps of India. All diplomats are not like that. There are few who are willing to be sold. They are being bought. They're being bought. So we should be able to identify these people and expose them. And that is my request to Shri Vinit ji, because he is the most knowledgeable person. He knows where to look for them. The data sovereignty, the conversion of data into oil and gold, it is his job. So I request you, Vinit, kindly come on to this, and your words will be taken by the government. Let me assure you, your words will be taken seriously, because you have no personal animosity with anybody else. You have nothing to grind against anybody. What you will tell them will be in the national interest. So this is my request to you, and we will, of course, be serving under your leadership.
So thank you very much, sir. Actually, this is a very important question, and certainly me and even Vinit, I know that wouldn't mind if you take the entire 45 minutes to explain how this ecosystem works against India, but sitting in India. That's the irony of all of it. So before I ask you the next question, I have the proud privilege of introducing a few eminent personalities who are part of this event today. We have Lieutenant General Patil sir, who's here. He's a senior to even Shekatkar sir. Probably he's the guru of all of us who are here today. Sir, my pranams to you. Thank you for joining this event, sir. Then I have Major General Rajan Kocher. Sir, thank you for joining. We are very happy that you are here today. Then we have former Inspector General of Border Security Force, Sharma ji. Sir, thank you for joining, sir. It's a BN Sharma. Thank you very much, sir, for joining. Then I have Dr. Nagaratna, who is also here. Dr. Nagaratna, sir, thank you for joining. I have Uma Sudhindra ji. Uma Sudhindra ji is part of the Board of Governors of IIM Vizag. Thank you, ma'am, for joining. She's also the advisory group at Rashtriya Shakti University. It's a real privilege for us that you're here today, Umaji. Thank you very much. So we also have Dr. Vandana Nanda, former Managing Director of CRIS, Ministry of Railways. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining today. It's a pleasure meeting you again. Because of all the COVID situation, we are not able to meet in person, but I'm very happy that it has given us this opportunity that we could meet virtually. Now I'll just go back to the question answer session, and then I'll ask another question that came to my mind when General Shekatkar was speaking. Sir, what we are seeing today is that most of these terrorist outfits that you mentioned, such as the ISIS, they kind of do all these violent acts that they capture on video, and then they put it up on the social media today, so that the youngsters who are watching it get inspired. Basically, they get radicalized. It's not an inspiration. Basically, it's a radicalization that happens because of such videos. And we also know of a few cases. Fortunately, it's few and far between, but still there are cases of some Indian youth traveling abroad and then surreptitiously joining the ISIS at a different location in Syria and other places. So this influence that these kind of outfits in radicalizing youth in India, could you just tell us this dimension, and also how to be cautious against this menace?
It's absolutely right. ISIS, particularly Taliban, Al-Qaeda, they project themselves to the most powerful. They even show beheading. And what a shameful thing. The so-called these social media operators, they show the person being beheaded. They show the person having a head covered, and somebody is going to chop up the things. They are equally responsible. Somebody is committing crime, but highlighting that crime through social media, you are scaring others also. ISIS became very, very famous for this job. And who sustained ISIS? The nation which supported the ISIS to capture part of Syria and part of Iraq. And today they are joining the hands with Chinese. Their president is claiming they want to draw a new axis. Right from Pakistan, terrorists operating from Pakistan, Afghanistan, crossing over Iran, getting into the northern port of Iraq and Syria, and basically controlled by Turkey. They are people who create this kind of mindset. In India also, the way they highlight the Naxalites, the killing of Naxalites, the dead bodies being shown, they show the influence of this Tablighi Jamaat, they show the agitation being conducted in Delhi, the communal violence, they deliberately show it, to instigate the minds of the other community and also to support the people. And government, when they start action, they say, no, we got a freedom of speech. Under the garb of freedom of speech or expression, you can show anything which you want to do it. I think there is a need for social organization and other things to become a speed breaker on these people. Even the TV channels should be told or should be requested that please be careful. Tomorrow it can be your turn. Haven't we not seen in Pakistan the way some of the journalists have disappeared? The television people have disappeared. Nobody knows where they have gone. So we should learn from them. I respect your views. That's a very difficult thing, but this is also part of perception management and psychological warfare.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much on that. I think it's a very valid point that it is the role of the society and social organizations, particularly belonging to communities where this radicalization happens, who get influenced by the kind of videos that these terror outfits put out, of showing some as though they are doing some valorous act, that causes this. Thank you very much on that aspect, sir. I have one more question. Before I go to that question, I have an announcement to make. Vinny did mention about it, but still I just want to repeat it. We have this interesting book that we have come out called as Cyber Security and Citizens 2030. This book is currently available on Amazon. People interested in knowing more about knowledge sovereignty and how cyber security and other, how citizens can contribute to strengthening India on cyber security, please do go to Amazon and take a look at this book and buy it if you're interested in it. Thank you very much for that. I just want to make another announcement before I go to the last question of the day. Tomorrow we have another session with Lieutenant General Syed Ata Hasnain. He has been mentioned very highly by all the, even General Shekatkar and others who have been mentioning his name as the next speaker. So he will come and speak to us at 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow evening. I request all of you to join again. And we have one more event on 12th. We'll announce it tomorrow, but most probably all of you know about it already. Now to the final question of the day that I have in mind. Probably we can take one more if Shekatkar sir permits. Sir, you mentioned about how companies do spying and surveillance on other companies, particularly on their competitors. But there is a whole larger issue involved as far as corporate espionage is concerned, particularly in the context of China. Because China is the flavor of the day, so I want to go back to China. Most of the companies which are tech companies, I mean, India, the government has been so wise enough to ban some of the applications that are used by Indians, majorly the social media applications. But there is a larger question, sir. Most of the companies, including infrastructure building companies from China, it is mostly controlled by the Communist Party of China. They are all Communist parties as organs. And even though there is a management from the civilian side, I think on the background it is it's not that I think, I know for a fact that a lot of PLA military staffers are part of the decision making and they influence the decision, and also try doing work on infrastructure technology, including 5G technology in mobile telephony. These are all easily they become a spying tool for the Chinese companies. If they do an infrastructure project, they know all the dimensions of a bridge that they build. They know the dimensions of all the roads that they have built, the highways that they have built. They know everything, and it is easy for them in case of a war, to attack on the cyber front and also on the physical front, and ensure that India is in a way demoralized and completely demolished. This threat is available. I mean, this is my assessment. Am I right in this assessment? Could you just throw us some light on this threat that is available and how to tackle this?
You are absolutely right, sir. You are absolutely right. This goes on in the corporate world, in big infrastructure companies, those companies who are expert in constructing tunnels, airports, seaports, railway bridges.